Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. This is Dominic Sicali, Mafia Roundtable. First off, I'd like to thank our sponsor, EG Vodka, the best vodka out there on the market, 100% organic. It was created for the party guys, for socializing. Excellent vodka. You will not, I don't get a hangover from it. And Tito, we're definitely coming for you. We're gunning for you. EG Vodka, go to egvodka.com. You could order it. It'll be drop shipped to your location. And of course, always don't drink and drive. This story is a story that it's worldwide known. It's from the movie Donnie Brasco. But the story itself, not many heard. Hasn't been in the newspapers from the best of my knowledge, hasn't been out there. It's something that only inner circles of the Mafia know. And with that, I'll start with the evening that Joe Messino killed the three captains. And there was supposed to be a fourth captain there. And that fourth captain was Anthony, Bruno, and Indelicato, the one that got away. Bruno was supposed to be there, wasn't there, didn't show up. His father, Sonny Red, told the other two captains, let's go in without Bruno, because he knew Bruno. Bruno more than likely was bouncing around the city out partying instead of going to this important meeting. And by Bruno's bad habits and his cocaine addiction, it actually saved his life. So after the captains were killed, I guess it was the next day, word got to Bruno. His father's not around. Big Trin is not around. And Bruno realized his father, they all got killed. So now Bruno goes on the lam. He's on the run, knowing that Joe Messino is looking for him. He doesn't know who's his friends, who's his enemies. So what Bruno does, he uses his cocaine stomping grounds. Because when you're on the streets and you're doing coke, you're partying, you have a lot of locations where you call it incognito, that nobody knows where you're located. So Bruno had access to brownstone apartments, the who's who of Manhattan, New York. So Bruno used that to his advantage. So it would be difficult finding Bruno. And Bruno's hiding out, still partying, not thinking straight. So he really doesn't know what to do, but the shit has hit the fan. Now you have law enforcement also looking for Bruno at that time. So now you have the Mafia and law enforcement hunting him down. And so Bruno's bouncing around, partying, sniffing. This one brownstone he was at, he's actually not even a brownstone. It was a hotel they used to frequent, had the rooms. They knew the owner. Might have been one of these small boutique hotels. Bruno's up there partying. All of a sudden, there's a knock on the door. Bruno's like, what the fuck? Nobody knows I'm here. Looks out the peephole. All of a sudden, he hears, Shazam! Open the door. Soon he heard Shazam. My uncle Pete the Neck, who played Pete the Killer in Goodfellas, was at the door. And that was his nickname for Bruno, Shazam, because Bruno was always all over the place, bouncing off of walls, especially when he did coke. Bruno opens up the door. My uncle comes in. My uncle has a girl with him. Bruno locks the door, says, what the fuck? Now, at this time, my uncle has no clue what's going on. He's just looking to party, hang out, have a good time. Bruno doesn't say anything. Bruno's sniffing. My uncle sniffs a little. And then my uncle tells Bruno, do me a favor. Go in the bathroom. I got this girl. I want to go with her. So Bruno says, come on, Bo. What do you mean go in the bed? Come on, do me a favor, Daddy. Let me just go with her this way, and then I could leave. I brought her here. I knew you would be here. So let me use the room. Let me use the beds. Bruno says, okay. Bruno goes into the bathroom. When he's in the bathroom, he's all coked out. So, he's checking his hair, his teeth, just keeping himself occupied. maybe about 10, 15 minutes goes by, and Bruno's like, oh, son of a bitch. I left my Coke on the nightstand table. And Bruno's telling me he had about an 8-ball of Coke. It's on the nightstand. So Bruno, again, goes back into the mirrors, staying occupied. Maybe about an hour passes by. Bruno doesn't even realize the time, but it was about an hour. And he's sweating now. He's jonesing. He needs a hit. He needs something. So Bruno now is in the bathroom. He knocks on the door. Yo, Pete, I'm coming out. I'm coming out. You okay? He doesn't hear anything. Finally, Bruno comes out. Bruno tells me, you're a fucking uncle. The bed was a mess. He said there was cum stains on the bed. It was just like he fucked this girl all over the room. And then I'm looking for my Coke. I'll be a son of a bitch. Your motherfucking uncle took my Coke. So the way Bruno said it, like, he's just comical. He said, I'm wired out of my mind. I need that blast. And I go look for my bag, and it's gone. You dirty fucking uncle. That was one of the last times I saw your uncle on the street, he's telling me. So Bruno, after that, now Bruno, days go by. Bruno's still bouncing around the city. Nobody could locate Bruno. This one evening, Bruno's at a supplier's house. He's outside the house. His car is idling. It was a little chilly from what he told me. He says, I have the windows down, heat's on. And, I'm looking out, listening to the sounds of the city. And he's on a slope where he was located. So he's like at the middle of the slope in the street. So he's waiting for the dealer to come down to give him, I think he was getting an ounce, he said, half ounce of cocaine. He says, as I'm waiting, I'm listening to the music. Donna Summers comes on, Last Dance is playing, and, I'm watching my surroundings, but now I'm getting into the music. I'm listening, I'm bopping to it. And he said, all of a sudden, I heard a shot, boom, boom, and I felt my body jerk. His body jerked into the steering wheel, and he never lost consciousness. So he's telling me, I just lied there. I said, fuck, somebody just shot me. So he knows what happened. And then all of a sudden, he's playing dead. Maybe he said, it felt like forever. And then I hear a car engine start up, tires squeal away. And then that was it. So I knew I was alive. What had happened was they spotted Bruno's car, the car he was using, and they were at the top of the hill. So what they did was they turned the engine off, put the car in neutral, and let it roll down the hill so Bruno wouldn't hear the sound of the engine. When they rolled up on Bruno, they boom, boom, they hit him, they shot twice at him. They saw the body go forward into the steering wheel. They noticed the body wasn't moving, Bruno wasn't moving. So as the car kept on going, in neutral, they started it up, threw it in drive, and took off. So Bruno said, once I heard the tires squealing, I put my car in drive and I took off. I'm driving. He said, I got maybe a few blocks away. That's all I remembered. And then he said, Dom, next thing I remembered, I wake up, I'm still in the car, I have people around me, and I hit a fire hydrant. So he said I blacked out. And then the paramedics, as they're taking me out, they see the blood, they're trying to wrap my head up. And they asked me, what's your name? And I'm not answering them. I had no ID on me, he tells me. So they put him in the ambulance, he blacks out again before they transport him. Now Bruno comes through again in the hospital in the emergency room. So he tells me, I touch my head, I have a pounding headache, and I touch the head and it's all wrapped up in gauze. They have it wrapped up. There's really no blood coming down onto me. So they have that under control, but I'm in the emergency room. A nurse comes in, says, hello, my name. She walks out and she informed me that the cops are on their way. They want to speak to you. What happened? And Bruno said, I don't know what happened. I don't know. So once she left, Bruno knew, fuck, I got to get out of here. So what he did, he made his escape. He got out of the emergency room, took off. He says, thank God I was in Manhattan. I went to another location. I knew a guy who owned the brownstone. I get there. Guy's looking at him. What the fuck happened? Get the coke. You have coke? Yeah. Give me a bump. Bruno does another bump. And thank God, the coke problem more than likely saved his life. But not too many people know Bruno did get hit afterwards. Joe Messino, the hit team, got him. But Bruno did get away. When they found out Bruno was still alive, I'm sure Joe Messino went wild, because now you have this maniac. Not only his father got killed, but he got hit as well. Then after that, Bruno wound up getting arrested. Got pulled in on the commission case when they had all the bosses together. And Bruno, they linked Bruno in because there was no violence on that case. So they linked Bruno into that case because Bruno killed Carmine Galanti, who was the Bonanno boss, tried taking over. So with that murder, that's how they RICO'd the case and brought all the bosses in. And Bruno was telling me too, Bruno had, when I met him in Allenwood, he had, all his teeth were broken. He said that was from, he would have epileptic fits. Even though the bullets didn't do much damage, one of the bullets pierced, there's a sac around the brain that holds the fluid for the brain, and there was a pinhole. So the fluid was leaking out slowly. And Bruno would have these fits. So he said one time when they had their co-defendant meeting, they're all in the bullpen. John Gotti's going off, yelling. And Bruno said, now Gotti wasn't on that case, but Gotti was in there. And what had happened was he's yelling, John Gotti's going off. And all of a sudden Bruno said, oh, I think I'm going to have a fit. Like, Bruno's a character. Funny. Like, he knew, oh, fuck. I got to get around this some way, somehow. And that was just Bruno's personality. But funny guy. And then years later, of course, the pinhole closed up. And also Bruno got his teeth fixed. So, but if you like that story, please hit the subscribe button. And hit the like button. Also, I have a shout out for Alphonse from Brooklyn for your son Victory. Wish you the best. Thank you for following, subscribing. Always your show is support. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. And this one is for Victory. With that, everybody have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Much love. Peace out.